Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamari4 here once again, and we're here to react to more of this bullshit. This is a brand new compilation that this channel has. Shout out to this Llama Arts for having these compiled stories together. Um, and we're gonna start off with a brand new one. This is 56-minute long video. I'm gonna probably break this into like maybe 3 or 4 parts. Uh, But yeah, shout out to everybody who's actually enjoying these series. I got quite a few comments on the past couple of videos, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying it because I'm enjoying it. So let's go ahead and start off because you see over here on the screen we got True Pizza Delivery Stories #3. We've already seen a couple bullshit stories about dude walked up to the house and the decrepit old man was trying to tell him to go back and show him something. And then the next one was a decrepit old woman who showed up at his car looking all creepy and shit. So we're gonna see what this one's gonna be. Already with the bullshit. Here we go.
I was out doing a delivery one late night. It was probably the longest drive I have ever taken for a pizza delivery. From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive, which isn't too crazy out where I live. Plus, they ordered 4 large pies, so I figured it was a party and
Why do they keep calling pizzas pies? Is that a UK thing or is this a because I've never heard that over here in America. I don't know.
I would get a much bigger tip. Navigating the dirt roads at night was always annoying though. I pulled up to the given address. It was some old, sketchy looking building, literally in the middle of a
Here we go. I mean, okay, now every single one of these stories has been you at night by yourself going way off somewhere that's nowhere near nothing, dark, spooky, decrepit house, like whatever.
forest clearing. There were no cars parked anywhere or any lights on. I put my car in park and called my boss. I asked him to reread the address at least 3 times to make sure I typed it in right, but that checked out. I could tell he was in a really bitchy mood, and he told me to at least knock on the door and check it out. He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4.
I
I
just
was
paid for 'em.
insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building. There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard. I heard nothing and didn't really expect to hear anything. I was extremely disappointed, not because nobody answered the door,
Bruh.
but because I was realizing that it was all a waste of time and gas. I knocked one more time out of desperation,
Bruh.
and then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building. I knocked again and yelled that I was the pizza guy. There was silence now. I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window.
Shit.
There was someone looking through the window.
I can't.
I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. All
Oh.
I noticed were their eyes.
Oh.
Their eyes were open wider than I knew possible,
Oh.
staring intently at me. I was disturbed enough by this and dropped the pizzas and ran back to my car. The shitty thing wouldn't start a third time. I drove off the grass and back onto the dirt road,
Oh.
but I felt the car rocking about, shaking and bumping. Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside. There was so much resistance that I
Oh,
couldn't
shit.
even drive. The car came to a stop. I got out of the car to check what the hell was wrong.
Bruh. Not when my car is starting to fuck up. No, 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 no. I can't be having my car fucking up now. That can't. This. No, no, no. That dude's. Why? Look, okay. They always be noticing shit and then they just be paralyzed in fear. Run, bitch. They be sitting there looking. They be having all this time to analyze the details. If I see somebody looking at me wide eyed like that, I'm get at night. But you know what? It's probably not a good idea to record these at 2 a.m. and then go right to sleep afterwards. Probably not the greatest idea. Why does pop up keep coming up? See, this is ratchet now.
Wrong. A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats. My tires had been slashed and had completely fallen off the rim. Not just the front though. All 4 tires were slashed. I realized somebody did this when I was knocking on the door to that building. Instead of running, I got back in the car and locked the doors. I was so close to that building, I could...
Okay, okay, let me know, what would y'all do? I'm not too keen on this staying in the car and locking the door shit, because everybody come around me, you gotta know where else to go. I feel like I've gotten a somewhat distance away from this house. I'm hitting it. I'm running because I can't just stay here. I'm a sitting duck. What the fuck? I can't just sit here.
practically see it from where I was if it weren't for the trees blocking the view. I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator. She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me it would be best to stay in the car with the door locked. She asked me to stay on the line with her until the cops arrived. My whole body was shaking.
Bitch.
In all directions, there was nothing but dark, seemingly endless forest.
Oh my god.
I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this.
I can't look. I
The
can't
next
look.
part, though, is what utterly destroyed me.
Oh shit.
It still shakes me to this day,
Oh god.
and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear.
Oh god.
As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person. The same person I saw at that window.
Oh fuck that.
Eyes open wider than ever. I could see now that it was a woman, and I could ever so slightly see a smile begin to spread across her face.
No.
I opened my door and full on sprinted into the woods, not caring how much noise I made. I ran until I was out of breath, which didn't take long.
Bitch. What is it with these old people and these crooked smiles, honey? I can't look. I can't do this. This plays on like a phobia of mine of being, first of all, in the dark at night. If y'all are ever familiar with like rural areas, when it is nighttime and all they have is that one road, it is dark. There is no street lamps, no nothing. You barely get moonlight. It is pitch black. I can't imagine being stuck out there and just seeing this creepy bitch behind. I think I would become the Flash. I would become the Flash and just be running off adrenaline alone. Oh my god, that is so terrifying.
And I hid behind a giant log on the ground. I tried to cover my loud breathing with my hand as I waited and waited for what felt like hours until I finally heard sirens in the distance. I gathered up all the stamina I had left to run all the way back in the direction of the dirt road. Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view, and I had never felt better in my life. They were parked in front of my car, investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They picked me up and began to question me, to which I explained everything to the best of my ability. One of the 2 cars drove over to the building, and the 2 officers began to search the building. They came back with nothing except for a couple of spiky objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to slash my tires. The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found. And that still kills me to this day. I obviously quit my job right after that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
She's in the store. Yes, I knew it. You saw it. She was in the store. I knew it. I knew it. I knew. I knew.
I recently moved out, and I already have a horror story to tell. The house I moved into isn't anything impressive, it's just a house that's appropriate for 1 or 2 people. But I'd say right away, I started hearing weird sounds coming from inside the walls. I first heard it in the kitchen, and then in the bathroom, but on night 3, I started hearing it in my bedroom. I was sure there was some kind of animal living in my walls. I just had to figure out how to get rid of it. The next morning, I didn't even have enough milk to fill the bowl of cereal. I couldn't believe I hadn't realized I needed more milk. In fact, I seemed to be eating up all of my food pretty fast. I woke up in the middle of that night to the sound of breathing. Not my breathing. It sounded just like the breathing of a person. I flipped the lamp on and it stopped. I chalked it up as my mind playing tricks on me after waking up. The next day was really hot.
Nuh-uh. You take all them instincts. You listen to every single one of them. If you suspect it, it doesn't hurt to get up and look around and make sure, because the last thing you need is to get caught slipping. Now, my dog's sitting up here looking at me because I'm crazy, screaming and whatnot. He's trying to check up on me. This is the real MVP right here. This is the real MVP. But you got to get down because you're heavy. Come on. Well, you almost took my microphone with you. Move your leg. Move your damn leg. Get. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Let's go.
Hot, so I turned on the AC for the first time. I checked every single vent, and some of them weren't blowing any air. One of them being the vent right next to my bed. I peered through the vent with a flashlight.
Oh, shit.
There wasn't even a duct behind the vent. It was just the inside of the wall. It seemed that whatever air duct was in there had been removed.
What?
Unfortunately, I didn't look into the air conditioning system while buying the house, so I didn't know about this. That night, I had to sleep in the heat with no AC, so I was up pretty late constantly rolling around and flipping the pillow over. Then I eventually started to hear the breathing again, but this time I was fully awake. I knew it was real this time. It was coming to my left. I looked to my left at the air vents. The sound was surely coming from in there. I grabbed the flashlight again and shined it in through the vent.
Oh shit, here we go.
I dropped it and screamed. There was someone's face peering through the cracks of the vents.
Bitch!
The first thing I saw were their eyes, open wide and glowing. I screamed all the way down and out the house. I soon found out there was a crazy, dangerous homeless man living in my walls, and he had been eating my food ever since I moved in.
Some crazy, deranged homeless. How did the homeless man get in your ventilation system? What? Damn dog is tearing my damn leg up. I am okay. I am fine. I'm alive. Okay? Shit. Tearing my leg up. Damn homeless mofos. What the hell? What these? I'm telling you, these crazy things with these eyes, they be killing me. I can't. I'm unable. True hunting stories.
I was
Alright,
doing some
honey.
night hog hunting in the woods near my backyard. I was hiding in the tower I had built about a decade ago. In case anyone's wondering, I of course had a night vision scope attachment. I guess I'm what you would consider a hardcore hunter. I don't want to bore you with the unnecessary story prolonging details, so I'll make this short. And I want everyone to know that though I agree this story sounds far-fetched and crazy, it is nothing but the truth. And I in a way actually consider myself lucky that I'll always have such a horrifying story to share. So, while I was sitting in the tower waiting for movement, it finally came. I took aim and found the source. But it wasn't at all a hog, or any kind of animal I was expecting. It was a person, a man wearing all black. Black sweatpants, black shoes,
Oh
and a
shit,
black
here we go.
hoodie with the hood over his head. But that wasn't the freakiest part. He was dragging a sack behind him. My heart started racing. I was pretty sure I was witnessing this guy trying to bury a body. I continued to watch him.
Wait, so do you shoot? Do you shoot? Did y'all hear this dog? Y'all probably can't hear it because the speaker way up here, but this dog was going ham. I'm about to put you in the bedroom. I'll put you in the room. So do you shoot? Like if you see him messing up with the body, do you shoot or not? Or do you watch? Do you wait? Like what do you do?
But then he slowed down, and I swear to God,
He looked
it
right
looked
at
as
you.
if he turned his head up to me. I ducked
I
down
would've
under
shot.
the wooden walls of the tower, shaking in my boots.
I would have
Yes, I
shot.
had a gun, but just the idea of using it against a person is horrifying.
Shit.
I lay low, praying to God that he hadn't seen me. It wouldn't make sense if he could, though. It's practically pitch black out here, or at least that was my logic. Seconds felt like an eternity as I waited for the footsteps in the leaves to move elsewhere, but I didn't hear any footsteps. All I heard was the sound of a foot hitting one of the wooden planks on the ladder of the tower.
Ooh.
I felt the entire tower vibrate and shake as there were 2 more steps moving up the ladder.
Bitch, I've been ready. Like you turn this corner if you want to. Cacao. Ain't nobody else here, so as soon as I see you move, cacao.
At this point, I was asking myself deep down, am I going to be able to shoot someone?
Yes.
But for some reason, whoever was down there decided not to climb all the way up, as I heard them jump back down to the forest ground and began dragging the sack away. I think I stayed frozen like a statue for at least 10 minutes before even peeking over the ledge again. The coast seemed clear. I had to get home and warn the police immediately. I hopped over the ledge and descended down the ladder.
Why?
I turned on my pocket flashlight, which in hindsight was a stupid move considering the situation, and ran back in the direction of my house. I was only able to run for about 10 seconds or so when I heard the rapid, manic footsteps crunching the leaves from behind me. I took a look over my shoulder, and there he was, inches away from my face.
Shoot!
I spun around and shot him in the shoulder. He stopped and screamed in agony, and I took that moment to finish my dash to my house. Again, in hindsight,
See, here again. At least he shot. I'm glad that he did shoot, but Jamar would have kept shooting until I was sure that he was dead. Because clearly you have ill intentions towards me, and look, I need insurance. I need insurance that you about to be gone. Hell.
I should have held him hostage somehow, but that doesn't even matter now. I called the police, who showed up within 15 minutes with a whole search squad, and I led them all into the woods to the exact location where I shot him. There was a faint yet noticeable blood trail spilled onto the leaves, which led past the body bag, which the cops seized, and eventually right to the maniac, who was hiding under a log next to a tree. He was arrested and tried for the murder of Jinquen Sakanaki, a Japanese corner store owner. I don't know the full story behind it, but I do know I won't forget this one for the rest of my life, and I'll also be telling it for the rest of my life.
Honey. We might do a couple more.
I'll never forget the time me and my brother snuck out past our bedtimes to explore an allegedly haunted house down the block. Yes, I said bedtime, as I was only 10 and my brother Luke was only 12. When our parents said goodnight to us, I went to Luke's room and we took a couple hand-powered flashlights with us and hopped outside through the window. Luckily, his room was on the first floor. Those hand-powered flashlights worked by constantly pushing in a little trigger that would create light inside the lens. They were noisy as hell, but they were convenient. Once we were outside, we just walked down the block, and in 2 minutes we were there. It was rumored by all the neighborhood kids and teens that the place was haunted. Everything about it was creepy. The older, more antique design of the house, the isolation from the rest of the houses, and the broken
Y'all dumbass about to walk in this house, ain't you? See, little kids, you hear about all this stuff on the like TV shows about oldest group of kids. If you spend a night in this house, then you a real man or something. See, we ain't really had too much nothing like that. I don't know if this is just a black and white thing, because I know you can call me whatever you want to call me, but I'm not about to go in this house. I bet you ain't about to go up in there neither. So I don't see when you kids, I guess. I'm just saying it wouldn't be me.
windows and rotting wood. It seemed perfect for a horror movie. We went around to the backyard. This was all my curious and confident brother's idea. I was scared shitless.
Tuh.
The door was locked, as expected. I felt a bit of relief, thinking we might just go home, but my brother made a shocking move next. He grabbed a plank of wood laying in the grass and began smashing the already chipped window. Eventually there was enough of an opening to unlock it and slide it up.
Nope. Nope. I would be like, you know what? You have fun. Tell me all about it. I'm getting the fuck out. Shit. What? Why? For what? See, y'all impressionable little older brothers be irresponsible with your younger siblings.
Up completely. We hopped inside and began cranking those noisy-ass flashlights. Immediately after entering the house, we both picked up on the fact that it was like 90 degrees in there, which was odd as it was a September night in the mid-70s. There was no graffiti or anything anywhere. In fact, it was relatively empty besides a few pieces of furniture that were clearly not worth taking along. It seemed we were the first to enter the house, shockingly, or at least from the back. We went upstairs to the main floor from the little den area and continued cranking the flashlights. That's when we heard the slightest crack in the floorboards from right above us. We both jumped. I tugged for Luke to leave, but he told me the place is old as hell, it's just house noises. I stopped cranking the flashlight at this point, and I urged Luke to do the same, but he only called me stupid for suggesting something so ridiculous.
No, bitch, you stupid for getting in this goddamn house and ignoring the obvious red flags. I'm like this. I'm telling you. I mean, you've already gotten too far gone. You've already like upstairs. So if you go back by yourself, you're gonna be terrified. So at this point, it's best to just stick together.
Then there was another crack in the floorboards from above us. He began walking upstairs. I didn't want to go up there, but I was not about to stay down there alone. I followed behind him to the upstairs. There was a door that led to a room right above where we were standing. I begged him not to open it, but he must have just wanted to be the big, tough older brother.
Bitch.
He began to reach for the doorknob while still cranking the noisy flashlight, but then he stopped. I was confused. I could see in the dark he was moving his ear up against the door, listening for something. Silence. Then, the most deafening, nightmare-inducing moment of my life. A single bang on the door from the other side sent my brother staggering into the wall in pain, covering his ear. We dropped the flashlights and ran straight out the back door and back home. We were so loud when we got back that our parents found us out. We told them what happened, but they naturally didn't care and grounded us both for a week.
Hell yeah.
2 nights later, I woke to the sound of something from outside my window and a glare of brightness sneaking in through my slightly opened blind. I sat up, and my heart sank when I realized it was the sound of the crank to my flashlight. I stood up and looked out the window, and that's when it stopped. There was nothing but complete blackness out there after that. I woke the next day barely remembering what happened, and I still hope today that that part was just a dream.
Honey, y'all little kids, y'all gonna learn it one day. Shit. But that's all for this episode, y'all, honey. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm actually just recording all of these in like one big wave, and I'm just scheduling them throughout the week. But let me know what you think. Having so much fun doing this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Give it a big thumbs up, and if you're new, or if you are a current subscriber, make sure you put the little bells so you know whenever I upload these videos, you get a notification. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.